and then now he's not going on. Going in afloat curiously for the first or second time or once or whatever, and feeling easy at loading, because the horse is curious and maybe there's a bit of hay in the front. Who knows? The horse is not that claustrophobic, but it goes in the space quite easy. He goes, oh, this is all right. I can go in here. Easy, no problems at all. But the horse didn't recognise that it was a vibrating platform that it was going to have to stay in for so many hours until it was kind of like shell-shocked. So next time round, it's not going to go in. A lot of people load horses that are a bit uneducated or reasonably uneducated. They go in because they're curious, and then they go, no, this is not the deal. That's not what I signed up for. I just went into sort of this space, but you didn't tell me you were going to drive me for 2 hours and I was going to be locked in there for that long and frightened, so I'm not going to go in again. You've got to be very honest with your horses. So if your horse can lead really, really well, which it has to, you can't not load you can't not load a horse, or you can't load a horse and not have it lead, because the risk of a horse pulling back, flipping over, maybe the rope getting hung up, or maybe someone forgetting I've had so many people turn up at clinics and they're talking to me and I say, whoa, don't undo that breech and gate. You haven't untied your horse. Oh, crikey, sorry. But imagine if that horse did pull back and they were hard tied, and then they bang, bang, bang their head. Next minute they've got skull fractures. So the way I see it is, if you're going to start traveling horses, you have to have them educated, especially at leading, so they don't ever question the lead rope. So my rule of thumb is, if a horse pulls back and it knows how to pull back, then teach it not to pull back, teach it to lead amazingly. Then at least at the float, you can say to it, well, a backward thought's not available, but you can try learning to go into this float again. And if a horse does not pull back, it will lead forward. So when you get to the float, like I did this just at this clinic that I'm doing down in the Gippsland area of Victoria, I was jumping up and down inside the float, so much so that the car was vibrating as well, and I was banging the roof of the float with the flag as I loaded the horse, because the horse was pulling back and starting to want to pull back. I went outside, I worked on the pullback till the pullback was unavailable, and the horse was always coming forward with that rope. And then I get it to step on the ramp and back off the ramp a few times to make sure the horse was smooth and willing to come forward and test the float. And then I basically turn that float into a traumatic place, which the truth of the matter is it will be traumatic. And I made the float nearly worse than it would be when it's driving on an ordinary road. And I loaded the horse while the float was on full noise, so the horse could walk in softly backwards and forwards while that float was vibrating and banging and making all sorts of noises. So the horse knew what it was in for. And then the idea with that is, if you turn the volume up so much when you load your horse, then when you drive off, you're turning the volume down, and the horse goes, oh, thank God for driving off. This is easy. But geez, I was a bit frightened going in there before, because it was really scary and really bouncy and really noisy, but I did it and I could do it, and I didn't hurt myself, and I was able to move softly and process it. And now driving in this vibrating place is a bit easier. Whereas a lot of horses, like the naive one that went on, like in the question, the horse went on kind of curious, naive, but no caution. And that's the problem. A horse has to go on a float with proper caution, not just curiosity, because curiosity is what gets horses in trouble if they don't have caution. So if the horse knew how to lead amazingly and it went on knowing what it was going to be in for, then it wouldn't be like, oh no, you've just lied to me. I don't like that place. Okay, so be very careful, everybody, that you don't just let your horses go in floats curiously and you go, oh, beauty, that was easy, lock them up, go for a drive, because you will fry them and make loading and accepting travelling harder later on.